The Whiskey Brothers.
Welcome to the Whiskey Brothers podcast, episode 1067. I don't know where this episode starts, either a minute ago or now. I am Slave
Well, we
Ham.
wasted that whole conversation that should have been on one of
That
the podcasts.
could have been a very good episode. Jerry Wayne Longmire,
Howdy.
Trey Tutson, back a house run by Chicken. It is good to have you, Chicken. You don't need anything to
These
drink.
damn mushrooms got me feeling too honest, man. I'm saying
Okay.
Is
Talk
that what's
about
got you? Is that what it is?
know.
Oh, well, let's hear some shit there,
Did
Jerry.
you have a salad earlier?
How do you really
Yeah,
feel?
well, I was cleaning the garage.
Why not? That's
Yeah, made me feel good.
good old time.
It was nice, man. I ended up doing the wash catch and trick.
I like
did.
you guys honest.
I did, yeah. It was
You
good.
as long as one of you's on mushrooms when you show up to hang out with me. That's Can you guys not?
If we were both on mushrooms, we'd just be hugging too much. and
I feel like a parent
We
who I feel like a kid of a parent who doesn't love the child who's just drunk all the time. Why you guys got to be under the influence to hang out with me? I feel so unloved and unworthy.
Well, yeah, I had to do mushrooms for you special. I had to just to make sure that I was in a good headspace for you, buddy.
Were you worried you were gonna show up not in one?
I just wanted. Well, I told you I felt good the day before, so I was like, I want to feel like this for a special.
Yeah.
I felt great. You didn't know I was on it until last.
I feel amazing
I'm
right now.
not
I feel
knocking
so
it.
good and happy and just good about things.
That's perfect.
just optimistic.
I like this,
Hell,
Jerry.
Man,
You're in the best shape of your life, bro. You were down. You were. I was watching. Here's how I know.
Yeah.
I was watching. I'm putting some shorts up on YouTube, right? So I'm pulling some stuff from some current episodes, but I'm also looking back at some old ones. And you've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
You can see it.
I can zoom.
I can 43, 42 pounds.
That's significant.
Since
That's a
I was-
whole.
Since Africa.
That's a third of me.
That's
It's a
great,
good sized
man.
turkey.
He's so
But I
hot.
mean, that's sick. You think about
motherfucker's
42-pound turkey. That's some good old hoss right there. You know, that's turkey.
How big's a regular turkey?
And most of that's bone. I just lost fat.
How big? Wait, how big's a regular turkey?
I think normally they're about 30, 35 pounds.
What? I thought turkey was
No,
like 12
no,
pounds.
we talking about getting ready to eat.
Like
Oh.
not a
Not-
bird,
yeah,
not a
not
wild
this
bird that
motherfucker, you
you're
know.
out. I
He
don't
think
know.
about they dicks and shit.
Jerry,
They're
honest
going
to
always
God,
about fucking 2 Celsius.
your
or something.
pregnant pause there is the first thing that reminded me turkeys are actually birds that live in the
Oh, they
wild.
live in the-
I thought they were things that lived in a freezer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how big is one of those on a regular? Is it like 12 pounds?
I think
14?
they go run from like 12 to 20.
All right, so you lost 4 of them,
Yeah.
3 to 4 of them.
So
Feeling
what
good.
the wait.
I've also put on a lot of muscle. I've been busting weights and treadmilling, and I have changed my entire relationship with food, which has been a wild reprogramming.
Stop fucking it.
You're not
Like-
doing
Basically.
So wait,
We're
no
celibate.
fast food.
Well, yeah, I'm not doing fast food, but what I
good,
did is I
buddy.
started keeping a food diary, so I keep track of everything I eat. And
Dear
the calories and
hamburger.
stuff.
Dear burger, you were so delicious earlier.
It's
stuck
it's
my
not that
tongue
exciting. It's
all
just
in
an
your
app
face.
on my phone, and I type in foods, and then it tells me the brand, and like
Don't ruin my fantasy of you
God
writing
damn.
wartime letters to your
I'm
fucking
doing
pieces.
better, burger.
Dear
found-
Fat.
I found a hair in you and I stopped eating you.
So I didn't. I mean, I know I've always been a big eater, and I know I've been an emotional eater all my life and stuff like that. Like that's how I deal with stuff. But it's a weird. I grew up a clean your plate kid,
Same.
and so
Same,
now I'm making
same.
these like small portions. Like my lunch is on average about 400 or 500 calories, and my dinner on average is about 650 calories. And I realized how much I was eating. Like I realize now I didn't know. I mean I know it's stupid to say, but I was completely unaware of how much food I was
consumed.
Oh, that's
shoving,
totally fair.
and how much I was just eating for the sake. Like I've kind of like
That boredom. Or that just
boredom is the worst.
boredom. You
I
are
had
just- yeah.
boredom and free food are triggers for me, bro. And I think that's growing up poor, you know, and
Okay,
not having
yeah.
enough.
Does it? Let me ask you this: because I noticed this with my own vices, they tend to go away when I'm doing shit. Like they're habits of they're all things that happen. Like if I'm home for a month and I don't have anything going on, and I wake up and I'm home, and later in the day I got to be. I don't have shit. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Then I fall into my vices quickly.
Yeah, and drinking would work the same way for me.
Shit.
The busier I am, the less I think about those things. So I do keep myself busier. But it's just of like eating a normal portion now, and I'll eat it, and then like a few minutes later, I'm like, oh shit, you're full. How are you eating this little food and still feeling full? This is wild. It's just a wild thing that I'm going through, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm 46. If I don't get this under control now, it's going to kill me. Okay. Like, I realized when we were in Africa, like, this is probably your last chance to get this under control, bro. You're not going to take another. I've yo-yoed up, and I've done all the fad diets and all that bull crap, the carnivore and the keto and all that crap. And they're great till you get off of them, and then you just swell back up. Because they're all temporary
fixes, though. You have to change the way.
I'm trying to change the way my brain's wired.
Your relationship in a way that you go, like, you have to become a person who has a healthy relationship with food. And then make all your decisions like what would a person who thinks like that do?
And eating better and healthier food too, which is a lot easier now than it's ever been before because you can buy a lot. I recently went on the road. I went to Canada, and I was like, oh crap, what am I going to eat all week, and how am I going to keep myself?
You did just get back from Canada.
Yeah.
We'll go into that. Did you have poutine while you were up there?
I tried it once just to check it out. That's the fanciest name for the most redneck food I've ever seen in my life.
How is it not a thing here?
Yeah,
how did they not put
do not
cheese,
know
gravy,
how
and
that didn't
French
come
fries?
from Alabama.
Gravy and French fries.
It's the most South Georgia bunch of crap I've ever seen in my life.
64 food trucks perched up and down.
Poutine trucks. There should be poutine trucks all up and down Main Street right now. There ought to be poutine trucks.
We got biscuits and gravy.
Yeah,
it's not quite
that ain't
fries.
got French fries in it.
But it ain't quite fries, but it's
but if they added French fries
and
cheese curds to it, it'd be poutine and gravy. Or biscuits and poutine.
I'm not certain that you couldn't serve poutine with a side of biscuits and up everybody's game.
Biscuits and poutine, and then you would not be the original, but you would be the guy that made the milestone.
That's true. That's true. And they'd be like, "This guy changed the game."
Yeah.
So let's
biscuits
run
and
through
poutine.
This.
He put the biscuits with it.
But so when
you used to wake up in the morning, what was your breakfast? Did you do like a? Did you? What was your day to day?
I've never been a big breakfast person, but like.
But walk me through a day of you eat before you gave a fuck. Pre-Africa or whatever that moment was. Walk me through a day because I'm trying to compare.
Pretty easy to sit down and eat 3 or 4 tuna fish sandwiches and half a bag of chips. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy to eat one tuna fish sandwich.
Whatever. Bologna sandwiches.
I wasn't ready.
I
wasn't making fun of you, but I wasn't ready for 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for tuna fish.
You were ready.
I was ready for 3 or 4. I wasn't
not ready for tuna.
Ate a piece of pizza.
Yeah.
Other sandwiches
or whatever. I've never just eat like.
The one.
If I got a medium pizza, I'm throwing a box away when I'm done. You know what I mean? Like,
all right,
I'm just being honest with you.
Here's what's funny.
It's funny, but
this is straight up connected to your metabolism. Because what you're saying, that's exactly how I eat. I'm a clean your plate kid too. So it's like if we get a medium pizza, I'm like, we gotta eat all of this pizza. If whatever we're making, we have to eat all of this
Nothing
shit.
Can go to waste.
And it's like. I managed. I'm a little guy, so it has to be just like body type, metabolism. Like you start learning, like it's just a body chemistry thing. Because I'm hearing that like same shit. I would eat a bunch. Like I could fucking plow down food. And
I used to gorge. I didn't grow up a clean your plate kid. Because my mom was.
Look, it was 3 other boys. Huh?
We were so busy. There was so much shit going on. Mm-hmm. She was. If you got a plate, all right, you good. I mean, like, you know what I mean? All right, y'all gonna live till tomorrow.
It wasn't clean your plate. It was a did you get a plate?
Slade grew up in fight for your plate.
Very, very much. She would throw one bone on the floor.
Yeah,
and we would all. But I still have I'm trying to think. Now you're making me question why because I also will eat a whole medium pizza, and I'm trying to.
My neighbor asked me the other day, he goes, man, you're losing a lot of weight. He goes, what's the secret? I go, well, this is wild. But I'm eating less, and I'm working out, and I'm getting plenty of rest.
That's right.
And he goes, huh. like just like that. Like,
well then.
You're not doing keto or nothing? I was like, no.
Everybody wants a fix.
I'm very open on my Facebook and stuff. So, because there's people that, I kind of posted it the first time as a joke, but then just kind of laugh at myself. But then people were like, man, I really like seeing your results because it makes me feel like this is something I can do. Yeah. And so I talk very openly and honestly about it. And there's always going to be ugly, rude people in the world or whatever. But it's wild to me the number of people I'll be like, oh, I got this thing. It's working for me. And they're like, you should try keto. And I'm like, no, I've done that. You didn't read the first book. I've done all that. I'm not going to do that again.
Everybody wants a magic trick. And when they find a magic trick that works for them, even for a moment, they immediately become proselytizer. Like, oh, I got to go tell the world about this thing.
The secret.
And the truth is
a deficit in calories.
You need to just reinforce that to these people that if you just wake up and eat less
I'm eating better I'm making better choices about food as far as like one of the problems I have is my sodium, my legs were swelling and stuff. So I'm looking for the sodium on labels and stuff. So you have to cut out a lot of pre-made processed crap because all the preservatives have so much sodium in it. When I was in Canada, I just went to the grocery store and I found things I could make in a microwave. I tried the oven, but I don't know Celsius and things went bad. So I asked Rachel how long to cook my chicken. And she was like 400 degrees at 20 minutes. And I got off the phone with her and I was like, well, this oven only goes 205. So I guess I'll just cook it twice as long. And
burnt your shit up.
You can fuck up some chicken and rice.
That's really
in 45 minutes.
I'll cook it twice as long.
Yeah, cooking does not work that way.
Man,
it's a science.
This little bitty ass fucking it's cheap ass oven. What oven only go to 205?
Yeah, that's exactly. I was like,
this is
Canadian oven.
This for reheating. This ain't for cooking.
Cooking with a light bulb over here. Easy bake ass.
I learned some shit in Canada. That was a wild trip. I had a great time.
So take us back if you don't mind.
No. What
can you take us back? So you got, let's say you say 3 or 4 tuna sandwiches, bag of chips. And then what? And then like kind of like through your day. That's kind of like a. I'm gonna say
grazing?
Is that like a
yeah,
one?
Yeah, I'm bad
that's
about that. Yeah, that's
grazing.
one of my worst. Like,
that's
I get bored and
yeah.
I would get bored and eat. You know, and I wasn't doing much in physical activity. I was feeling bad, obviously, because all the weight I'd put on. And Africa's what I don't know how to explain this, but it's like the opposite of body dysmorphia or whatever the fuck. I would look in the mirror and I see me. And I don't see the guy y'all see.
You see Jerry. Hey,
yeah.
Jerry.
And Jerry still looks like he could do a cartwheel.
Right.
But Jerry can't. Jerry still looks like he fits in an airplane seat.
I think that's body delusion.
Jerry didn't. Yeah. Body delusion of prosmorphia or something.
Antagomorphism.
Oh my God.
I'm the protagomorphia.
Yeah, protagomorphia.
So it's like, you know, your clothes don't fit anymore, and you're like, oh, stupid clothes shrunk in the washer, you know, or whatever. Like,
oh wow, yeah.
I don't want to say you lie to yourself, but you just don't see what other people see. And a lot of what triggered it was the Africa trip and how bad I felt the entire time, while you guys were fairly decent health and y'all were getting along just fine, and I was fucking miserable.
It was 130 outside. You were allowed to feel
I was
miserable.
30 yards behind everybody else, plodding along, getting eaten by insects and shit. And
130 degrees.
They didn't get stung by nothing because it couldn't catch them. I caught it all, you know, and it was just not fitting, not taking advantage of things that I wanted to do, you know. It was just like, you know, me went hiking in Kentucky, and I was like, man, I want to go find that waterfall, but I didn't have the gas.
There also wasn't a waterfall.
Yeah, also, Kentucky's a bunch of lying whores, and there's no waterfall there.
That is a dirty, dirty lying park
y'all.
right there.
Yeah. There's no waterfalls in Kentucky. They are full of shit. There's no waterfalls. There's just more people like me. That's just all there is in Kentucky.
Yeah. I think, but also, like,
I don't even get laughs in Kentucky because my voice just sounds like everybody. Like, oh, you sound like my principal.
Hey, my principal.
Like, there's just no surprise there, you know. Everybody's like, oh, you go to this redneck room, you go kill. No, they know me. No, I do. Send me to New York. Let me do a 4-hour lecture. I guarantee I'll sell that sumbitch out.
You got it.
People will drive from the Catskills just to hear me talk.
You
for
got to
4
hear
hours.
this sumbitch, y'all. It's crazy.
He's going to talk about light and theory and illusion. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So, I would just eat all day. I would eat fast food. I would eat on the road, eat terrible. I don't remember until this past trip ever doing comedy and not immediately after drinking at the bar going to get some shitty food to sit in my hotel room and eat. And you feel terrible when you wake up. It doesn't make you feel good. So This trip was a test. 'Cause
No one feels
I cooked
good.
for myself. Jack makes a lot of homemade food, so
He cooks for you after the show.
great.
No one feels. Canada's good about making it easier for you to
not
be
a lot of fast food.
You don't have a lot of. It's like not set up here. I mean, I can't tell you how many nights for the better part of 20 years, I would finish a show. It'd be 2
Whataburger.
a.m. You would get a double meat, double cheese Whataburger, a large French fry, probably an apple pie. You would drag all that shit back to the hotel room. You would gorge it, and somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning, you would pass out full of all of that stuff and about 14 whiskeys on top of it all,
That's right.
and then wonder why
You felt
you didn't
awful.
feel great when you woke up at 3 the next afternoon.
You're like, what
Mhm.
the fuck is
Yeah.
happening?
And it was,
The
and
chef-
you're right, Canada, I walked the whole time there. I
It's
didn't have
so
a
much
gym.
better for it, isn't it?
So I just, and the city's definitely set up for it. And
For
so I would
walking?
rent those little scooters or walk or whatever. And I was walking to the club every night. Club's
Yeah.
about a mile away from the condo. And I was like, well, and there's like white people riding bicycles, so you feel safe. So
Yeah.
I would just like walk back and forth to the.
That's so fucking
You just
funny.
feel like you're.
Because that would make Trey worry.
That's funny.
That is the
No,
reason Trey
no,
would go like, man, I'm
no,
going to catch an Uber.
No.
All these white people on
No,
bicycles,
bro.
get me an Uber.
You need to go to Calgary.
I want to go.
Dude, you spend a week with every white person you meet saying, sorry.
Sorry.
You're going to be so happy.
I'm like, I don't like the white guilt in Canada.
Sorry. Like that trip was fun. Me and Chicken went out to Walnut Springs right before I left for Canada.
In Texas?
Right? Yeah. Walnut Springs. Walnut Springs is out in the middle of nowhere, bro. It's like an hour and a half.
I don't know where Walnut Springs is.
southwest of Fort Worth. It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Wait, so like Waco-ish?
Southwest
North of
Fort Worth.
Waco. It's
of
north
Waco.
and west of
Waxahachie?
Waco.
No, that's east.
That's still too far. It's bro. There's nothing. The closest big town. This is what's so funny. I take a chicken. Chicken's never been to that part of Texas, bro.
Chicken, have you been? Hang on, let's find Chicken. How far had you been? You've been places, right? Okay, where's the furthest you've been?
Well, he's been to Hawaii and shit, but
Okay.
Texas is a different.
But you haven't been into the little parts of Texas. Okay,
That was his
okay.
first.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I called Chicken up. It's like, hey, you want to go with me on this trip? Rent a car or whatever. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna go do the show. I'll have you open for me.
Mm-hmm.
He was excited to go. We're going to see John Clay Wolf, and I was going to do his radio show because me and him did an affiliate deal. And he had just bought this huge, one of the last great car collection finds of probably this century. He bought a barn full, a shop full of cars that an old Dixie Mafia guy was buying from prison and putting them in the shop and never driving them. So it's like old 1970s Corvettes and stuff with 8 miles on them that have never been driven. So we got to go in the shop and play with these cars. Look at all these. Me and Chicken are both gearheads, so we're excited. But we're driving out there, right? And Chicken, I noticed since we left Waco, he looks a little ill at ease.
Okay.
And Chicken talks a lot, and he's talking faster. The further we get from Waco, the faster he's talking. And I was like, man, what's bro okay over here or whatever? I was getting a little tired.
What's going on, Chicken?
We pull into this little town in Texas called Meridian, which is not a big town. It's probably about 10,000
okay.
people.
Yeah.
Small town. We pull in this little town, and Chicken goes, is this where the show is? I go, oh, no. This is the big town near where the show is.
Meridian.
We got to go like 10 miles that way. And so we start driving out of Meridian. And it's just cows and goats and the occasional dog wandering around in a pasture. The Chicken's looking around. And right before we get to the venue, he looks at me. He's so sincere. He goes, hey, brother, no matter what happens out here, do not leave me here, please.
I can't fucking laugh.
I almost peed myself, bro.
God, that's so funny.
I was like, how bad do you think the set's about to go, bro? Like, what are you?
It sounds like something that I would say.
Jerry, I'm not certain I wouldn't have given you the same warning, and I've been doing this for 20 years.
Exactly.
He's like, whatever happens, bro, please don't leave me out here. I'm not sure I could start over here.
Well,
I laughed so hard. I was laughing all the. It was the first thing I said when I got
I'm
on stage,
sure
and the crowd
I could
loved
start
it.
over here.
you'd have to drive to Meridian for groceries.
Oh,
It's like, when I was growing up, we
serve.
used to go to town.
Yeah.
You know,
We drove to Beaumont from Orange.
You're like, where are you going? Oh, I got to run to
Okay,
town.
yeah.
I got to run to
Yeah.
town. Everything was in town. That was 10 miles away.
Yeah.
Got to run to town.
That's how it
Gotta
works.
run in town.
Yeah.
Better
Now
stock
I'm
up.
surrounded by town. I still have to run to town.
I think about these places every time I drive through them. I look at them and I just go, "Who lives here?"
And how do you survive?
You could leave. You
I
could
kind of
move.
say that now though, where I live at. When I leave, like, where you going? I was like, I'm going into the city. I'll be back.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I say into the
Yeah.
city because it's like
But not for provisions. You know what? Like
There's a HEB.
that's the difference.
You're going to the city, have a good time, or put in some work.
True.
You're
That
not
would
going to
be
get hot
wild.
dogs.
Not
Yes.
for vittles and
right.
tools.
I'm going into the city.
Vittles and
Anybody
tools.
need
That's
anything?
great.
Right?
That's an untapped store name.
Vittles and tools.
I bet it would go huge in Meridian.
Let's just
Tools.
call
Vittles
it.
and tools.
Let's call it Vitools.
Vit tools. There you go.
Who's in? I'm in.
We got
Shark Tank
groceries and
this?
tools.
Vitools.
Vit tools.
Who wants to eat a drill?
Yeah, so me and Chicken went out and did that. It was an amazing experience, and we drove back
was
the
the
next
show?
day. The show was great. We had a really good time.
How much time
A
you did?
Good crowd of people. Chicken, I did like an hour.
There
What
we
was
go.
it, about an hour? Yeah, hour 5, something like that.
Okay.
But it's a good crowd of people. We had
Chicken
a
did
good
good?
time. Chicken did, yeah. Chicken did good. Chicken. Sorry, the mushrooms are making me honest, Chicken.
Chicken did. Yeah.
I asked because I knew you weren't gonna be able to lie.
Chicken did.
I needed to see that pause, and then you saw the pause, and then you made the pause worse, and then Chicken did that, and now I want to know what happened.
How did Chicken do?
Chicken did a job and was paid for his job. Chicken was a good road hand, man. I had a good time. I actually had an
But you're
amazing
saying-
time with Chicken.
You're saying if you'd had the opportunity, you would have had someone else go back and drywall over his set.
Well, it just wasn't. That crowd wasn't ready for Chicken.
Chicken, what happened?
Chicken.
Yeah,
Okay.
He did fine. The people laughed. They had
He
a
did
good
bomb.
time, but I could tell
He did bomb.
he was about 7 minutes in, and I told him to do like 10 to 15, and he was about 7 minutes in.
He gave you the look.
I said, hey, if you start running out of material, give me a signal. And he goes, hey, I'm all out of my material. And I guess that was the signal.
He didn't go signal.
He goes, oh, y'all, I done ran through all my jokes in 7 minutes. And I was like, I guess that's a
Wow.
signal. So I lit him.
You know what? If y'all had been in Meridian, he wouldn't have done them as fast.
I'll tell you this. I wish more comics would do that. There's a lot of comics over the years that I wished would have went, I'm all out of jokes.
I'm all
Instead
out
of
of
so
jokes.
what else is going on?
Yeah,
And
he
go
didn't- he
limped
didn't
into
do-
their-
He
their-
didn't do any of that. He stayed authentic the entire time. It was very funny. I could tell he was nervous because his first sentence had about 3 fucks in it. Real 3 fucks.
Fuckity-fuck.
You could count them.
Yeah.
Like we can look at the video. We got video. We can count 3 actual fucks that got said in this sentence. And the owner comes up to me and she goes, "Is his whole act so profane?" I go, "No, ma'am. I think that was the end of it. He just got done."
And then he did his second joke.
But it was a great experience. We got to hang out with John Clay Wolf. We saw all the cool ass cars. Chicken shot so much B-roll and cool stuff, and then did the radio show the next morning, which is wild being on a show like that where there's like 5 producers. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
it's
so
a whole
it's a
room
big production?
Dude, he has a huge studio
Wow.
upstairs in this car barn. Like it's the most amazing build, and
Wow.
dude, there's like 8 people working to keep that show running while he's on the. It was an impressive. He's an old school radio guy. It was impressive.
We got a
the work
chicken.
he's doing. Yeah, we got a chicken, but Chicken picked up a lot from watching all them dudes, and Chicken came back with new ideas, and we come back from that, and then I caught the flight to Calgary the very next morning.
Yeah, you were straight out.
some
Like,
poutine.
well, I should have been, but thanks
Not
to American
poutine.
Airlines,
What is
I
it
was
called?
4 hours late.
Poutine, not poutine. I mean, you
That's
probably
right.
got that.
People
Calgary
were
as well.
hollering at me, going, "Hey, man, you gonna try poutine?" And I was like,
Happily
I
married.
feel like my wife's gonna say no if I ask her.
But you at that
If I
level.
have some
What-
poutine.
You at TikTok pussy level.
Yeah, I don't want any of it though.
What was
I like what I got going on, but
Yeah,
I keep,
I got the best in the world at the
just
house.
keep trying to get it
the
set
way
up.
you said it sounds like a threat.
TikTok pussy?
TikTok pussy
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like a thing you might do to me.
It only
Like-
lasts. It only lasts a minute.
Straighten up and you go get some TikTok
You gonna
pussy.
Get some TikTok
It
pussy.
only lasts a minute, and they all do it the same song.
That's funny as fuck.
What was your favorite thing you
Dude, Rick Astley came on in the car the other day, and my son was so blown away that we were being rickrolled by the radio. He thought somebody played a hilarious prank on the whole family.
That's really on the DJ who should have
I was
stopped
like,
it halfway
actually,
through.
that's a
and moved on
good
to
ass song, bro. That was a hot song back in the day.
He's made like no money off of it, by the way.
No, he's
for
really
all
cool
of
about
the,
it, though. He's really cool.
Yeah, for all of the rickrolling that's happened, he's made nothing.
So I made it to Canada finally. I had a layover in Dallas, which is a terrible, awful place. And then I got to Canada, and immediately off the airplane, I was kind of fucked up because all the stuff that is written here in Spanish is written in French there. And that was wild. I was in customs, and I spent like 30 minutes avoiding a door that said sortie. That sounded like a hassle I didn't want. You know what I mean?
Sortie.
I had chickens and mushrooms in my bag. I wasn't trying to get sorted out or whatever.
What was your so two things. What was your favorite thing you learned that you were right about in Canada? What was your favorite thing about Canadians you learned that you were wrong about? Like I say right and wrong about. What was the thing you did know that was so surprising? Then what was the thing where you're like, oh yeah, absolutely, these motherfuckers are exactly like this?
I didn't know that Calgary is like I kept hearing, oh, Alberta's like Texas. Alberta's like Texas, oil money and cattle money. But I was like, yeah, but it's still a foreign country. Okay. But it's not really. It's Calgary is they call Calgary Cowtown, which is what we call Fort Worth for the same reason. But Calgary, honest to
Fat
God,
white women.
is like alternate. No, there were no fat people. There were no fat people. I was really worried it was illegal for a minute. It was. I was really worried. There was a period of time where I was like, I don't feel comfortable because there's no people like me.
They all hike.
They walk everywhere and they hike everywhere. There's no fast food. There's one McDonald's in the whole goddamn city, and you got to walk a long way to get to it.
No fat white women.
There's one, and it's
Sam must hate it up there.
They're statuesque white women.
Statuesque white women.
They're thick, but like bone structure thick. Like
well, now, hang on. You went in October. What was the temperature?
Oh, it's beautiful, man. I got off. So I always thought that humidity bullshit was a bunch of shit. Okay. I hate the cold. 40 degrees when I got off the plane, or 6 Celsius or whatever the fuck that is.
40 degrees.
And I was walking around in a T-shirt and perfectly. I was so thrown. So Calgary is like alternative Universe Houston with like a heavy fixation on plaid and ketchup and politeness. It's the weirdest. But I've always heard the polite thing, but I thought that was a joke. The polite thing is messed up. Like, bro, I walked out in front. So first of all, I was working, I got there on Sunday night, and I was like, crap, I really want to drink, but you can't buy liquor on Sundays because of Jesus. And I was like, well, I'm just going to take a walk around the block. And I was like, I really want weed, but I don't have a weed guy.
But it's a Calgary thing.
It's a Texas rule.
He
showed up with preconceived.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just showed up in my same train of thought.
He showed up from here.
And I was like, I want weed, but I don't have a weed guy in Calgary yet. And so I left my apartment and walked around the block. And in one walk around the block, I bought whiskey, weed, and pork on a Sunday night at 10:30.
Pork
at 10:30.
At 10:30 at night.
Whiskey, weed, and pork.
And they have weird slang. Calgary has this weird slang thing. So yeah, no means no. And no, yeah means yeah. But then there's another one that's like, yeah, no, sure. And it's kind of like a sarcastic yeah.
Yeah.
I went in a pot shop. Sure. I've never been in a pot shop before, so I was paranoid. I was like, oh, shit. This feels weird. And so I asked the kid, I'm like, so this is legal. It's legal to consume, and I can just buy this.
Did you ask the dude at the pot store? You're not a cop, are you?
I just asked, this is legal.
This motherfucker threw his receipt back at him. Man, what the fuck you doing?
I could buy this. I could buy this and I could smoke this. And the kid goes, yeah, no, sure.
Yeah, no, sure.
I'm now I think you're a fucking cop, bro. I don't trust you. I'm going to another pot store. Yeah, luckily, there's another one right
across the street.
Yeah, but it was wild, man. So I get back to the hotel. I'm like, oh, okay. My worldview's shaking now. It's weird. It was weird for me. So usually when I travel or go overseas, I go to countries where I don't fit in. So it was really weird to be in a place where I could pass if I just kept my mouth shut.
Literally as their leader.
Like I just looked like one of them, except a little fatter, you know. And like,
yeah.
But most people thought I was Canadian until I talked, you know. And it was only after I said like 3 or 4 words that they're like, "Oh shit, where are you from?" You know. And it was a weird experience to just be able to blend in and just cruise among the public.
You are textbook Canadian.
Yeah, it was cool. But I like walked in front of a dude's car. I was in the bike lane. I had one of those scooter things, and I stopped because I saw him getting ready to turn, and then he stopped. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? So I waved him by, like, I already stopped, bro. Come on by, you know, just being polite. I'm a stranger in their country. And then he waved me by. And then I waved him by again, and then he waved me by again, but this time a little more frantically.
That's ultimately how the entire universe reaches ultimate stillness. Is just Canadians at a 4-way stop. It's just,
No, you go. No, you go. Sorry. You go.
all of entropy happens.
I'm not exaggerating when
really
I say we
funny.
did this like 3 times, and then he got out of the car, but I'm from Houston. When somebody gets out of the car, I get worried. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, shit, I done took this shit too far. I should have just went, you know, this Canadian's about to whoop my ass or shoot me. I didn't know they didn't have guns.
No.
That was weird, being in a place with no guns.
No,
like,
they
'cause
just
we usually go
drowned
to
you in
places where there's
syrup.
lots of guns.
Only thing you can't get on that block.
Yeah, and he like got out of his car. He goes, "Hey, bud, you have the right of way. You're the pedestrian. You have the right of way. Sorry, go please."
Sorry, go.
And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "I go, no, it's all right. I already stopped. You can just go." He goes, "No, you have to go. Sorry, please go. Please go. Sorry." And he was saying "bud" like really passive aggressive. Like I could tell he was irritated.
Bud,
and I was
yeah.
like, so then I went and I took my time because like,
That's a-
fuck
that's
you
a
with the way
conun-
you said "bud."
That's a conundrum for a Canadian, where it's you're an asshole, but I'm Canadian.
And you do have the right of way.
Therefore, I'm sorry, bud.
So I was doing a bit on stage all week. I was like, this politeness thing is the funniest thing in the world to me, because I know that there's a whole paragraph in the Geneva Code of Conventions strictly because of Canadians and how they treated Germans during World War II. They were like really good at trench raiding, and this is what the Canadians would do.
Wait, at what?
Trench raiding.
Trench raiding. I think you said tree trading.
They
That's
were
what I
really
thought
good
you
at
said
trench
as well.
warfare. Sorry,
Trench
trench
raiding.
Like,
raiding.
wow, pot's been legal a long time.
And they would throw like a can of food over to the German trench, and the Germans didn't have much food, and they're like, "Oh hell yeah!" And then they throw another one, and they're like, "Oh hell yeah!" And then they throw another one, and they're like, "Yeah!" And then they throw a grenade.
That's beautiful.
Which you're not supposed to do that according to the Geneva
That
Code of
is
Convention style.
beautiful. More food. That's not food.
It's gonna chip your teeth there, Hans.
Yeah,
What I just kept, so I was reading these reports about it, and like the German survivors that survived it described it as surgical butchery.
Well, let's just say this: 3 out of 4 Germans consider the Canadians polite and good purveyors of food substances.
Yeah, surgical butchery.
Yeah.
But all I could picture was these big moose-fed Canadians jumping down a trench and stabbing dude, be like, "Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
You shouldn't listen to that guy with a little mustache. Sorry,
Click. One of these isn't a pancake.
sorry." Like, it was the wildest experience, bro.
Just to tell you, that's so fucking great.
I never had so many people say sorry to me. It was just the wildest thing, bro.
Yeah.
And I walked all over that city. Not one time did I hear, "Get out of the way, fat ass," or nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
These
Well,
ain't getting
here's-
any cheaper, asshole. Move, you know.
Here's the thing is because the free health care. So because of that,
They've all had doctors tell them what you heard recently sooner.
Well, that and everything bad for you is illegal. Like
That's what I was gonna say.
Like they've tackled obesity by making food too expensive to buy enough of to get fat.
Yeah, but also like an accident. Let's say whatever. Let's say
I went to buy a can of dip. A can of dip here is like $7, right?
okay.
I went to buy a can of dip
Tobacco
at the
dip? Wait,
convenience
what
store.
kind of dip?
Oh
Yeah,
my
like
gosh!
chewing
Tell me, there's a tobacco company up there that's called Canada''P.
You,
Canadip.
no, there is a company called Canadip, but it's cannabis dips.
Boo.
Yeah, well, it's way
I
more
want
fun.
Canna
You would
Dip.
do weed dip?
I would do weed dip, but I want a company named Canna Dip, much
Okay.
that does the old school chew tobacco
All their
spit.
tobacco products are in plain brown wrappers with horrible warnings. Like the DWI warning I heard in the radio on the way was the wildest shit, because the guy was like, hey, if you're thinking about going out and having a great time on the town tonight with your friends, you should get a designated driver. He's like super polite. And then he's like, if you're not going to get a designated driver, then maybe you could call an Uber or a cab or any other ride share. And if you're not going to do that, maybe just stay over. But if you're not going to do any of that, then the next thing you should do is write a bucket list. And then just very politely describe, you should meet with a funeral director and discuss your options. And like, it's so polite, but it's like, you're going to die. You know, like, and all their
Whatever
cigarettes.
happened to drive slower?
Yeah, all their cigarettes and
Take
stuff.
back roads. Where's that commercial?
Like when you go in the store, there's no rows of cigarettes and tobacco and all that.
Yeah.
That's all locked away. And so I asked guy, I was like, do y'all have dip? He goes, yeah, we have Copenhagen. I was like, cool, let me get a can of Copenhagen. And he like
$47.
$32.
$32.
$32.
Okay, I was being hyperbolic for the sake of
I
the joke.
cussed the guy on accident because it just struck me. I was like, I thought he was doing a bit. I was like, ha, fuck you. And he was like a nice Middle Eastern guy. He's like, no, you will not fuck me. Do you want the dip? And I was like,
No, you will not fuck me.
$32. Somebody's getting fucked here, bro.
Yeah.
It ain't me.
$32.
I'm going Timmy Hortons getting coffee.
Yeah, have a donut hole, brother.
It was the wildest, dude. It was just weird being in like alternative universe place. It's like
Bullshit. $32.
$32 for a can of dip, bro.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, bro. I was just like, oh fuck, guess I'll just chew on my tongue. Fuck this. That's
Put some of
good.
this motherfucking beard in this goddamn.
There's got to be some residual in here somewhere.
You know,
I
pulling,
bet I'm
pulling carpet
slobbered
up
on
in the
this.
condo.
Yeah, you say what?
Pulling carpet up in the condo.
Scraping the fucking trenches out of the table.
Ah, fuck, I can't.
I was just packing rice in my lip. I can afford rice here.
God.
I can't, dude. I
Sorry.
Jerry. I can't. My fucking head is killing me. Rice, dude.
It was just wild.
Who's gonna pop first?
I know.
And I've never been in a place that does shows all week.
Monday
Like,
through Sunday.
Just every night you go to work and do a
87
show.
people total. Could have been
And-
one good show.
God, bro,
This is the room you
Could
told
have
me
been
about.
I
one
felt like
good
you,
show.
dude. I like literally we could have done this in a group chat. There's three of us
I had
in
to
there.
recently say that.
Like
But yeah, damn.
it was, but those ended up being really great shows and fun. They were so attentive, dude. First night we had 25 to 30 people on a Monday. Tuesday night there were 8 people, and I was like, oh, well, that's Tuesday. And then Wednesday there were 2, and I was like, oh, I don't like the way this is going. And then Thursday there were 3. There would have been 5, but one couple got up and left because
Yeah.
they were bored waiting other people to show up and the show to start.
Hard to sit somewhere with 4 people for a half hour.
And then Friday night, you saw a packed house.
Yeah.
Then Saturday night, packed house. Like, it was the wildest.
Was Sunday a letdown?
I didn't do a Sunday show.
Oh,
I
you
flew
just
back
don't.
Sunday.
Yeah.
But
What's your shit like?
When I was
When
there,
you were there, yeah.
same thing. Shuffle a deck of
Same
cards
shit.
and play.
except he said the Monday was worse.
It just depends. It's. I can't tell you whether Monday or Tuesday's gonna. One of them's gonna have 100 people. One of them's gonna have 2, and there's zero reason for it. There is the law of statistics says if you flipped a coin,
Yeah.
it's 50-50. This is the most inexplicable.
Yeah.
Either no one knows it's there or everybody knows it's there, and you don't know until the day of.
You don't run an
which,
ad?
which
You don't-
I don't know.
No promote. No.
I was promoting myself, and I had a bunch of people come out. Like almost everybody that come out Tuesday night. Those 8 people were all my fans, and I told you
wow.
I sold 100% merchandise. 8 people bought merch, and,
Give me all my shit.
but Friday and Saturday night, a ton of my fans came out. They were excited. They had driven from Edmonton and all kind of places, and
Wow.
they were psyched about me being there. But
Hell yeah, Jared.
and then Monday night, I had people, except for the night where there was like 2 and 3 people. I sold merchandise with 2 people, bro.
Yeah.
I sold 2 T-shirts to 2 people.
Wait, all right. How you do your merch pitch?
It's
to
guilt.
2 people?
It's a guilt trip.
I
It's full
just
blown.
literally.
Hey, I'm on a door deal. That's what you say.
Yeah.
And you just tell them you're on a door deal.
I didn't
and
even-
then you hold a hat out. and you take your $200 for your 2 shirts while they go.
I didn't even do that. So I didn't know Canadian prices. I knew the money was off, and I normally sell my shirts for $20, so I was like, $40 Canadian. And I sold my shirts for. I come back with a pocket full of loonies and toonies and fucking plastic beaver. I got so much shit over that.
He sold 3 times the amount of money he should have made for those shirts. He's cooked the chicken 6 times as long as he should have cooked it.
He's doing everything
about
Canada's more.
Did you do 2 hours on stage?
in Canadian minutes. It's only in
Canadian
American
minutes.
60.
I did an hour and a half Celsius. It was like it was the
48
wildest-
America.
48 American.
It was wild to just like be in a club
I'm so happy
where the
you had this
club owner
experience.
doesn't give a shit if nobody showed up. He's just totally cool. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, bro. Do you want to do the show? I go, hell yeah, I'm going to do the show. These people came to see me. He goes, that's the attitude I like. And that was all he cared about.
You'll
was
be
that
back here.
I wanted to
You
do
got
the
good
show.
spirit. Yeah. Motherfucker, we got empty seats. In this
Bro,
bitch.
that's the first club owner that ever, like, at the end of the week, he's like, hey, let's go take care of business. By the way, can you come back in September? And I want to give you a door deal for a bonus. Like, basically what he wants, he's going to give me the guarantee for the week and then, like, 2 nights door deals that I can pimp out and try to make some money on.
Nice.
So I was like,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Jerry.
yeah. And the bartender didn't hardly talk to me all week, and he's like the owner's son.
Really?
And he's like over all the booking and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, we chit-chatted a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then at the end of the week, he's like, man, you were great. The minute I saw you Monday night, I was like, holy shit, this guy's funny. We definitely want you back. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's the most you've said to me all week, bro.
Those are my people, man. They're good. They're good
It was an
folks.
excellent experience, man. It was I can't think of anything other than the crazy dip price. Everything else was wild.
Yeah,
and I
$32
walked,
for dip.
man, I walked.
Damn them for getting you and your vices further away from each other.
Bro, I walked 30 blocks and found a river that was like a river runs through it type shit. It's the most beautiful stuff I ever seen in
Bow
my
River?
life, dude. Oh, no, that was a lot closer. I went to the Bow River, but there's another river in a reservoir on the south end of Calgary, and there was a bunch of parks down there, and they said you could sometimes see moose and bears, so I wanted to go see a moose and bear. I didn't see mooses and bears, or meese. I don't know what the fucking plural of mooses is. But I did see
It's a great,
a beaver,
it's a great Regan
which...
Bro, so those things
So
are
we
big.
so
saw
we have
what?
beavers in Texas, but they're tiny.
It's a beaver bitch.
So I've been around Texas beavers, but I'd never seen a Canadian beaver. And holy shit, this thing took off in the water across that river, and I was like, I did not even know this motherfucker was here. First of all, it looks like half a dinosaur, and some bitch took off in the water, and they're fast. They move. I was like, oh wow, okay.
I watch.
Crazy as shit. Man.
I watched this. There's a show called Life Below Zero on Disney. It's about people who live like in
In
Alaska,
frontiers and shit
like
like that?
Alaska,
Yeah, that's
like
like
out
in
in
the
the
wild,
bush and type shit.
and they just live by themselves.
Yeah.
I've never felt less confident in my ability to exist on this planet than watching those.
Yeah.
Bro,
That shit will, that
There's
shit'll humble you.
listen, there is a dude. I made fun of this dude for a whole season.
Yeah.
I giggled. He had this big beard, one of those beards, and I was just like, this dude, he shaves that beard. He's got to be the most. You know what I mean? And then the next episode was like the beginning of this season. He had shaved the beard, and I'm laughing at this dude. And then he takes his 6-year-old son, gets on a 4-wheeler, drives 200 miles through the woods, whatever,
Yeah.
parks it, starts catching fish. A bear comes out. He shoots it, and then takes his son back over to cook the fish. Relax,
Yeah.
the bear's gone. We can cook the fish now. And then they cook the fish, and then they ride 200 miles back to their other place where he builds a cabin. Like, it's the most. I'm the worst, saddest.
Is this
piece-
animated?
No, this is a human being who lives like
This
this.
is live action?
Who yes,
Live action.
full blown
Sound like
real
Turtle Man.
human
Live
being
action.
This is live action?
doing all this stuff in front of me, and that shit makes
Yeah.
me.
Well, they kept in Canada. They kept
and they eat beaver. That's how I know. They eat beaver, and they'll just be like, shoot, and then they'll shoot the beaver, and they got rules for how long it takes the beaver to float up.
Is the
then they gotta
beard for survival? The
No,
beard keep your
is-
face warm?
The beard is to make your chin not look weak. That's the
No,
only
that's
reason
really-
to grow a
okay.
beard. It's the reason James Harden has a beard. It's so you'll have that soft
I
ass
thought it
fucking
was.
underbite.
I thought it was a part of it.
It probably
for
keeps you
warm.
warm too.
I like it.
You know what I mean?
But they're also like he'll just kill a moose and bring it home, and his wife will make gloves for
She'll
him
figure-
or a hat for him.
so they're
or a
living
jack-
Red Dead Like Red Dead Redemption
like
2.
it's 1802.
Yeah.
And they'll shoot a beaver, and then that's how I know. They'll pick these beavers up, and they'll be like 4 feet ass of beaver.
Dude, they're like 200, 300 pounds. They're big damn creatures. I'd never seen those up there. Like 200 or 300 pounds. They're big damn creatures.
Monsters.
I had never, and they refer to everything outside the city as the bush. They're like, oh, if you want some really good weed, you gotta go find the Hell's Angels in the bush because they grow the best weed, and it's, like all this crazy stuff. They were trying to, my people all live in the sticks.
Yeah.
Wherever they are, they're in the sticks. So I'll be like, oh man, I'm coming to Dallas, and they're like, well, why don't you come to Duncanville, or whatever.
If you get 6 feet outside of a city limit in Canada, you're in the sticks.
Oh yeah, it ends
0 to rural in about 2 blocks.
Yeah, it is just okay. You're in the mountains now, bro. Good luck. And it was weird being a place where cannabis is so legal and like laid back.
Okay,
dude, I had this family come out to see me. Like 2 or 3 of them were fans of me, and the whole family was like 7 of them.
The rest of them were there against their will,
and they were celebrating the patriarch. Or no, one of the girls' birthday, and the brother-in-law had the same birthday, and they were celebrating their birthday.
Way cooler than I thought they were celebrating the patriarch.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was patriarch. All right, this is great.
It struck me funny because the patriarch of the family was boomer age easily. He was 65 or so.
Okay.
And we get done with the show. They buy merch and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, we heard you were joking about smoking weed or whatever." I did the thing about buying whiskey, weed, and pork, and they're like, "If you want, we got a joint. We're going to smoke outside. If you want to come out and smoke a joint with
that
us."
little side part of the parking lot.
And I was like, "No, just right in front of the club. Just right in front of the club."
That's right. That's the side part of the park. Yeah.
Okay, so I walked out the door, and there's this whole family, this like middle class family with the boomer patriarch, and from young to old, and they're all sharing these 2 joints.
Ah, that's beautiful.
And it was tiger blood with resin dripped in it.
Resin.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
What the fuck y'all talking?
That was a fun fucking scooter ride back to the apartment. I walked that scooter for half a mile because I didn't trust myself on it no more. I was still paying rental on it, and I was walking this some bitch. Like, I should have just left this bastard somewhere. Well, them people had me high as a bat's ass.
Yeah.
I was just done, bro. I was like, but it was just weird smoking weed with this family of just nice, not derelicts or whatever like you find outside the comedy club.
It's a glorious place, ain't it?
Yeah, bro. It's good
probably
time.
still light outside at 11
Good
o'clock
time.
at
I
night,
did.
too.
I almost called
Wow.
Rachel Sunday night. Like, we're moving fuck Canada, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you'll find the comedy scene hard there.
yeah.
I can imagine.
There's about 4 clubs that aren't yucks, and
Yeah.
it's a nightmare place. To
I
try
bet
to
a
be
lot of the
comedy.
locals. I went and had coffee with that Brian Stollery dude. We had a
Stollery's
good time.
great. We worked together in Toronto.
Yeah, he was so excited. He was excited about your special, and a couple of the kids there. Casey, I can't remember his name offhand. Really funny kid.
It's a good scene in Calgary.
His dad,
Dale Ward,
his
you worked
dad
with?
had just died. Oh, Dale was there. He was great. I had a great time
Good
hanging
egg.
out with him.
Oh, okay. That's good. You
But
got the-
Casey's dad had just died. He was sort of wrestling with the idea. This is wild to me. So I asked Casey, I was like, "What's your day job?" And he goes, "I'm a pool guy
in Canada,
in Toronto."
indoor.
in Calgary.
No, in Toronto.
In Toronto.
He's a pool guy in Toronto for the city. I'm like, well, you must spend a lot of the year pretty fucking bored. Like, how much do you work as a pool guy in Toronto? And he
What
goes,
else did
he
he
goes,
drive the Zamboni? What is this?
He goes, no, they're all indoor heated pools. And he goes, but I'm off. So his mom had died like 2 years before. And basically, Toronto just told him, hey, take a year off to deal with this. And when you get done, come back and we'll have your job for you. Like, this is the wildest shit. This is like World War II shit, Like, and then he's like, because of COVID, they extended it another year. And but he was sort of wrestling with whether or not he was going to be able to stay in comedy. And I'm not trying to throw the man's business down the road, but he was openly struggling with it. So the second night he worked with
I think
me,
we've kind of all been in that struggle. It's very.
I did my mom's bit in front of him.
Mhm.
And I come off, and he was hosting. He come up stage, he had big tears in his eyes and stuff. I gave him a hug. I went off stage. He goes, I know why he did that. Thank you. I was like, I was just showing you that
Yeah.
this hurts like hell right
like a
now, but
motherfucker,
Yeah.
there's something you can do with it later on down the road, you know, when you get, and he was like,
That's
we had this
solid,
nice
dude.
moment, man. He fucking drove me back to the apartment and bullshitted, and
Dude.
good kid. That Dale kid was a great kid. I really, it was just fantastic interactions. I only met one unpleasant person the entire time I was there, and I think she's always unpleasant. So
Oh, it was a lady.
Probably unpleasant right now.
yeah. She was just. I went and walked down around Chinatown,
fucking
and I
wild.
run into this lady that was just
Blame
being-
the patriarchy. No.
Just imagine this woman sitting on her couch for no reason right now, just upset.
Upset? Yeah. That's so funny.
I really feel like she's one of those people. She was just angry.
always just never
I was
happy.
looking at one of the there's a park down there in Chinatown called Lo Park, and there's all these amazing sculptures and stuff. So I just want to, I like art and stuff, so I just want to check it out. And I was like walking around. Well, there's like one art piece that has like this cool sculpture in the front of it, and then has all these little chairs around it. So I went and sat one of the chairs, and it started bending, and I realized those are probably not chairs that you're supposed to sit in. They're part of the art project. But I didn't know they were designated art project chairs. Don't sit on them. I needed a break. I'd walked
really
like
on
3.5 miles. And so I just I jumped up, but this lady like came over and she's like, this is part of an art installation. I was like, well, I think they're done installing it, bitch. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you so worried? I obviously realized my mistake and got up immediately when the
Right.
chair started bending, because it's not a real chair.
Nobody could have
But-
art installed a sign.
But if you'd have broke it, that'd have been real art.
Yeah. I had that on video. But I went out to Prince's Island Park,
Look
and
at art
I
imitating
hiked
life.
all around Prince's Island Park, just high as a kite, and it was just all their trees there are Christmas trees.
Envious of
It's
you.
the most amazing shit in the world. Everything smells like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
You see these trees. It's just giant Christmas trees. I found one place underneath them, and I filmed some video there. I didn't do anything with it yet, but it was under like 4 of those trees. And all the dead material that's fallen off the trees over the year, it's like being on a trampoline.
Oh yeah.
You're just kind
yeah.
of bouncing
The
around,
bouncy
walking in
forest
there.
floor. Yeah.
And you're just happy, and it smells like a Christmas tree, and you can smoke a joint while you do it, and nobody cares.
Oh, this makes me so happy.
I found a little quiet place by the river where the brooks were playing. I was like, man, you don't know. Every time you think you know where your life's headed, you don't know fuck all about where your life's headed, because in an instant it can just change and you're somewhere like this. I was having these profound fucking moments of, you have got to stop being so worked up all the time about the bullshit, because none of it matters. It's just space between moments like this, and you're just wasting your energy
motherfucker
and your
shrooms
emotions.
I am telling
kicking.
you, it is
Do you
amazing
hear your
how
shrooms?
he got
Did you hear that
security
line?
with
All this, but yeah.
the amount of drugs he brought in.
Yeah. Dude,
Bro.
don't lose too much weight. You hit the shrooms
They
somewhere.
gonna see him. Right? That's-
So
Don't
coming-
check under your titty when you get to be my size. I want you to know.
leaving Canada, I had 2 pre-roll joints left that were really strong. I didn't.
Oh, you can fly
It
home
was
with
so
anything.
cheap, and they
Okay.
were so strong. Well, I didn't know that, and I still had some instant rice
done.
left, and I had about half a bottle of Alberta premium rye whiskey, and so I took one of the J's. And then I wrapped the rest of it up and put it in the condo in the cabinet, and left a
Respect.
little note and was like, "Hey, whoever finds this is your emergency stash if you're having a shitty week here in Calgary."
That's a good dude right there.
And I was just feeling really good about that shit. And so then I was like waiting. I was like, well, I got to call the Uber. I had to go to the airport like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning
Yeah.
to fly out. And
Brutal. Yeah.
I just
Only way to
stood
make
out
sure
in
your
front
plane's
of that
not delayed.
apartment, and I smoked this hog leg cone. There's another one of them Tiger Bloods with the resins on it, and it's like dipped in. It speaks to my soul. And I smoked this whole thing, and then
Did your boner just move the table?
and then a dude gave me an edible while I was there, some homemade edibles. And I waited till I got to the airport. I got through security, then I ate that edible. And, bro, I mean, it was the most glorious.
Yeah.
I watched like 3 Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh
that's
my
how you
God,
watch. That's how you. That's how you're supposed to watch those movies.
I was like, holy shit, I didn't
And
know
here's the
John
thing.
Cena was this funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
That's exactly
how
what
you know.
8, 9,
The
and
ones
10.
where they went underwater into space.
Yeah, yes, they went to space. Ludacris was in space. I seen that shit on the airplane.
I was making that up.
Oh,
did.
they do go to
They do go to
space.
space.
Ludacris and
go
Tyrese.
Yes, it is.
Tyrese goes to space. Tyrese and Ludacris go to
The
space.
other two black astronauts.
Yeah, and they end up on the space station. That's how they get home. It's wild as shit. They go to space in a car.
Yeah.
In a rocket-powered Plymouth Laser. It's the
Impossible.
wildest.
Ludicrous.
Wow. I
Yeah.
like how they put the two black guys in a Plymouth.
I don't remember what the car was, but they.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was a Pontiac Fiero.
Oh,
actually.
even worse.
Yeah.
You know what Pontiac stands for, right?
I've heard.
Do you know what it
rumors.
stands for?
Hang on, I could probably
I'll
get-
tell you. Don't
on,
say
hang
it.
I can tell you what the N stands
Oh,
for.
yeah, exactly.
So no, I can't.
It's, yeah.
Does it end with Cadillac?
It does. Okay, all right.
Yeah, let's pretend you didn't grow up in Beaumont. You've never heard that. Slade all of a sudden like, how do you spell Beaumont? I don't know anything about this.
Does it end with Cadillac?
Yeah, so that's how stoned I watched three of those
context clues.
Yes, it fucking does. Go ahead, buddy. Tell us about me.
movies. I
I
got
want to play it again.
it was great, and then I got to DFW and had a 6-hour fucking layover in
Oh, what a damper.
DFW. Do you know how
dude.
bad it sucks to be
Bouncing?
2.5 hours from your house for 6 hours?
You could have stopped it. Do you know how bad it sucks to spend 2.5 hours in DFW? I
Yeah.
don't care how far you are.
I
I
know
don't
how-
care if you live in Minnesota or Tel Aviv.
I know how bad it sucks to spend 6 hours there. That was,
Huh? What'd you do?
bruh. What do you do?
What the fuck do you do?
How many languages can you contemplate
How many-
suicide
You
in?
go look for healthy food. That's a wash. And then
yeah.
you go look for something that's not going to blow your food diary up, and that's a wash. And so then you just give up and eat some Dickies and go sit and be sad with the other people.
Seems like all the cow is fried here.
Not a Dickie, Dickies.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say he eats sweaters in this motherfucker. It's got to be healthier than the fast food.
A lot of fiber.
So tired of hearing
Low sodium, the Dickies.
A lot of fiber.
100% of your yarn content for the day.
Yeah.
Jerry, I'm glad you got to experience Canada.
Dude.
Oh, it was
That's
amazing.
great.
I really want to go to the east side next. I mean, I'm
Vancouver?
definitely going to go back there, but I'm trying to
No, not east side,
piggyback
east side.
Edmonton and Calgary together. But I really want to go to that place you go.
Ontario. Toronto,
Ontario.
Ottawa. Yeah, Ontario's
Yeah, yeah.
Ontario's a good province.
They told me all the Toronto comics told me Toronto's like kind of like the Bronx right now. Like it's like uber hipster, super liberal.
So it is,
Oh,
but
okay.
but it's Toronto's my favorite comedy city. Period. Like, and it didn't used to be, but in the last probably 6 or 7 years, it just got it. Like it's always been smart and it's always been a little like kind of judgy. You know what I mean? You can't really do anything too out. The midget joke. Let's take that for instance. I would do that in Toronto. They would cringe. And then I learned that it was like, oh, you're cringing because you're supposed to.
Got you.
And then once you figure that out, like this is the cultural.
Then you just work that tool.
Then you can. So
Yeah.
now Toronto's my favorite city in the world. But early on in the set, you'll have to acknowledge the bullshit. Just here's what we're doing, and I know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. Let's just be okay with it.
I did more crowd work in a week than I've done my entire career, and it was fun. I had such a good time. It was just trying out new tools and
Yes.
sharpening them, and
It's a good place to
and
do it.
that's what I kept telling. One of the other guys was like bummed out because there was nobody there, and I was like, man, this is just tools in your toolbox, bro.
That's right.
And you got to know how to use them.
That's
man.
exactly right.
If you can entertain 100 people, you can entertain 2. You just got to figure out that. I told you those people were there to see a Ray LaMontagne concert, and so I just started. I was like, I only know who Ray LaMontagne is because my wife plays that shit. I'm getting laid. And I was like, is that how you got into it? And he started laughing. And she shrieked, and I was like, all right. And so I just
That's
did
funny
that.
as hell.
And it was just.
Yeah.
It was just fun, man. It was fun to exercise new muscles in a place where nobody's ever seen you before. Nobody had any besides the people that came to see no preconceived notions. And my people, they come to see me because of truck astrology, so they don't even know like what they're in for. So when they get there, I don't get it's really cool. I don't get a lot of that. I've had
No
people.
yelling out? Oh,
No,
that's
I mean the one I get suggested to all the time, and this is on the internet, is people are like, "Oh, you already have Papa do stand up," and I'm like, "Yeah, everybody wants to see that, but I don't. That's not. I'm gonna do him in this Christmas show because it's a fun sketch, and I think it'll be a fun fit for the character, but
Yeah, but you ain't.
But
I don't want
otherwise,
to do.
we'll-
I don't want to
we'll-
open for myself.
We'll stop you.
Yeah, good.
We're here for you.
I would stop me.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to talk about, cover? We are at the end of our hour. This is our first episode in November, so there will be a second one this month. Sam may or may not be here for it. I don't know because we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We miss him. It's good to have him here when he's here, but also he'll be back. Jerry Wayne Longmire, Trey Tudson, Slade Ham.
Yeah.
Chicken, you good? Anything to add? You got it all out of your system?
Ready to go back to Walnut Spring?
Yep, let's do it.
He's closing.
He was
already.
in love with the place by
I
the time
can't
we
wait
left.
to do 8 minutes.
I'll do everything I got again, slower.
Slower, yeah. That's right.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Joe Breda and the folks over at Boomtown.
Hey,
not at
Mary.
Boomtown, Old Humble Distilling Company. Mary, who sent the boxes. Chicken, I know you got your box. Jerry's got his box. Trey and Sam will get their box when you were in town in December. We still got all of Dan's whiskey. There's so much stuff to get to. Rebecca Creek's got stuff on the table. Some Texas things. We are your Whiskey Brothers. We have another couple episodes for the end of the year.
Hell
We'll go on
yeah.
to 2024 with you guys. The Andy Huggins special is out. Go watch
Right.
it if you haven't done it yet. My special's around the corner. Probably a new one
That's
from Jerry
right.
Wayne. Something new from Trey.
Yeah.
Chicken's going to have a 9-minute EP come out. There's so many good things live from Walnut Springs.
That's why I didn't want to
Live from Walnut.
That's why.
We're the
It's
Whiskey
chicken.
Brothers. We'll see you on another episode soon.
I believe in good whiskey, and I believe in good times. I believe in good music, loud guitars, cold